now I had a chance to talk about the deeper meaning of Christmas with a spokesman for the Vatican, Father Thomas Rosica. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
You know, the Pope has just inaugurated this year of mercy, and he called Christmas the Feast of God's Infinite Mercy.
That's right, and he's called Christmas also a feast of tenderness, mercy, kindness, goodness. This has been a consistent theme in Pope Francis's message right from the beginning. But Christmas, more than anything, when you stop and look at the whole story, its origins, the simplicity, the vulnerability of God, the way that God chose to enter the world, it really is not a form of condescension, but it's a form of tremendous tenderness and mercy. It reminds me of Pope Francis at the World Meeting of Families in Philadelphia. And he gives that incredible teaching on the Saturday night. He said, where did God choose to send his son? Did he send him to a business? Did he send him to some kind of a big enterprise? Did he send him to some factory, an office building? No. He sent him to a family because a family was the source of love, and a family that had its doors open. What a very powerful message, especially for this Christmas.
And what a jolt the Pope sent on his mission here to America this year. It was almost thrilling.
It was a great gift to the people of America, but also to the people of the world. I mean, you and I both covered it. We were there moment by moment. And as I think back to those moments, entering the Congress of the United States, speaking at the United Nations, ground zero, who could ever forget those kids that were singing about peace? I mean, Pope Francis brought us all back to our origins and called us to our greatness. And then, of course, when he mentioned those 4 individuals in his address to the special session of Congress, I had tears in my eyes. You know, who would think that you'd hear the Pope of the Holy See, as he was announced, speaking about Dorothy Day and Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King and Thomas Merton, bringing out the best of those individuals and calling us back to who we really are.
What a gloss on American history that speech was. It's so true. What do you think the impact has been, the lasting impact has been?
On many different levels, there's been impacts. You know, I had the privilege of being with the Pope every day during the month of October at the Synod of Bishops. And he referred on several occasions to that visit. I know for him, he was very touched by the simplicity, the warmth, and the welcome, and the vibrancy of the American church, and of the Cuban church as well. But I think here in America, it helped us all to realize that the Pope is still of great interest to people. All of the media stopped and covered that visit. So there was a great success there, but also the simplicity and profundity of the message. No matter where he spoke, he went right to the core of things, and everybody could understand what he said. I've had priests talk to me since the visit, priests in the United States, priests in Canada, others, and they've said, you know, people were so moved that they've come back to confession. People are coming to the sacraments. People are giving the church a second chance.
And he underscored the message of simplicity by driving around in that little Fiat.
It's simplicity. It's bringing us back to the roots and the core.
What is your hope for the new year?
My personal hope for the new year is we hear once again the message of the angels on Christmas. Glory to God in the highest, and peace on earth to the people whom God favors. And the world needs peace. This is the worst I've seen the world in my short lifetime, filled with tension and fear. So I hope that once again we can all be committed to peace. I also hope that, as the Pope said in Philadelphia on Benjamin Franklin Parkway, the Lord came into the family because the family had its doors opened, and that none of us, out of fear, motivated by rhetoric, would shut our doors to strangers. And we know that there's this massive movement of refugees across the face of the earth. Let us not be afraid that we can welcome those who were strangers, because at one point in our lives, we were all those wandering refugees seeking a home. That would be my deepest hope, and that we all come back to our simplicity and the core of who we are as human beings. You know, we say God so loved the world that he gave us his only son. In Laudato Si, the encyclical, the Pope helps us to focus on the world that God so loved. And at Christmas, we focus on the son that God gave us, this wonderful, incredible gift.
Father, thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, George.